What's going on, guys? CTG Man back here at the title. Today we are doing MLB Power Rankings. As you can see, we have our tiers set up. Leading division, wild card, that can win it all. Wild card just here for the funsies. It's mid. Shout out to MJF. You should be ashamed of yourself, and you employ warming Bernabel. Don't forget to like, subscribe. Wearing my Doug Martin Bucks jersey. We just beat the Titans the other day. Shout out to the Titans. Shout out Jeffrey Simmons. Don't ever fight my boy Cody Mauch again. All right, let's get it started. Tampa Bay Rays are up first, and this is a really weird starting point for me. They're just mid. It's just what they are. They're mid. They got some players I really do like. I'm a big Ryan Pepio guy. Always have been, always will be. That changeup is filth, right? I'm a big Junior Caminero fan. If he could learn how to play the position, that guy could be a legit top 5 shorts or third baseman. They made a weird couple of trade deadline moves. They picked up Griffin Jacks. They moved on from Taj Bradley, which I don't blame them. He looked rough. Also down in AAA now. That doesn't really matter now. The Rays are just a really mid team. They get hot every once in a while, but when they're cold, like they lost 3 out of 4 to the shitty ass Yankees. They have been good. They just aren't very good right now. They're just mid. Yeah, I don't mind the Rays as a team. I enjoy watching them. Brandon Lau is really good. You know, they got all the line. They got a bunch of line movers in their lineup. Is essentially what it is. Yandy Diaz is filthy. You know, but like. Either way, it's not like they're going to end up winning the division. They're like a couple games under 500 now. The season's probably over. They're just mid. Blue Jays lead the division, and I don't know if anyone's going to catch them because of how ridiculous they've been playing recently. They just hit, I mean, what the hell? It was Vlad and Addison Barger went back-to-back last night and ended up getting them the win. Back-to-back homers in the 9th. I mean, what else can you say, man? This team just has that it factor. I don't know if they're good enough to win a World Series because their pitching is still, like, Eric Lauer has been probably their best starter this year. They're hoping Shane Bieber can be something. I don't blame him. He has been good before. But overall, they're just a strong lineup, man. You know, every lineup card they put out, it just seems like there's, you know, at minimum 7 guys in there who just battle in the box. Everyone in there feels like they're an 8-pitch at-bat. They put a lot of stress on pitchers. My only question mark, like I said, is their starting pitching. Their bullpen's definitely not bad. I like Brendan Little. Ariel Rodriguez is pretty good, you know what I mean? Like, they got some guys out of the pen that I really do enjoy. Hoffman's not bad as a closer. Their starting pitching, they need Shane Bieber to be good, essentially. If Shane Bieber's good, they have a real chance to win this whole thing. The Braves are the first team going in. You should be ashamed of yourself. I can't stand watching them. I can't. I don't do it anymore. It's painful. Marcell Ozuna's suddenly good again. What the hell was that about? He's been hurt. I know he had the hip issue they were saying, or was it a hip issue, or was it like an abductor? It was something like that. Adductor? I said abductor. They're just a really odd team, man. They don't play well. Ozzie Albies is terrible. Objectively terrible. Michael Harris Jr. has had good games after All-Star break. Still not great. Austin Riley's hurt. Just the whole team is going down one by one. Matt Olson and Marcell Ozuna are the only guys still really doing anything in the lineup, it feels like at times. It's been a weird season. Jurickson Profar had a sick home run robbery, though. 2 thumbs up for making top 10 plays. The Guardians might make the wild card. I'm going to put them in there. They pseudo-sold at the deadline, and now they're better. Does that make any sense to you? Doesn't really make much sense to me. They hit, and they're hitting better. You know, Santana, Manzardo, those guys are starting to really get it going. Hopefully David Fry finds his footing and really picks it up. I'm a big David Fry guy. He plays like 4 positions. The back end of their bullpen, despite losing Emmanuel Clase, still has dogs. You know, Tim Herron's really good. Cade Smith, Hunter Gaddis. Like, they still got hitters in there. They got guys in their bullpen, despite losing the best closer in baseball maybe to gambling. You know what I mean? Isn't that just wild? They lose the best closer in baseball, and they still have a really good bullpen. The rich, you know what I'm talking about, but their starting pitching's not awful, I guess. It was their hitting for a lot of the season, to me at least. Whenever I would watch, they'd hang like a solid 2 runs. 8-2 in their last 10. I mean, that's just playing really, really good baseball, and I'm happy because, honestly, I don't want to see my team in. We'll talk about them later, though. I think Cleveland has a really good chance to make the wild card. Again, I don't think they're going to win anything, but for the couple of young guys they have, it would be good experience. You know, Manzo, I know he played a little bit. Manzardo played in the playoffs last year, but a little more experience never hurt nobody. And on top of that, this was a team that, again, like I said, sold at the deadline, didn't really bring in anybody new, and suddenly they're just playing better baseball. It works, you know. Another team that's going and you should be ashamed of yourself is the Baltimore Orioles. They've been slowly getting better, it feels like, this year. Like, they're only like 12 games under as opposed to 20, I think. So they've been getting progressively better, I guess, but it's not really good enough. They dug themselves into a really, really deep hole early. Not much you can do late. You know, the lights were off at midseason for them. That's why they sold. They got rid of O'Hearn. They got rid of Laureano. Why is Ryan Noda starting in right field? I got no idea. No idea why No-Duh is playing. He's not a no-duh start. Really weird team, but they're opening up more room for their young guys. Maybe their youth is going to come in and, you know, play better. I don't know. Their youth is different, though, because it feels like every year they have youth. It's a lot of youth. Just a lot of youth, man. And I'm not sure when they're going to be good again if they're leaning into a youth movement, because they have really good young guys. Adley, Gunner, Jackson Holliday's pieced together an all right season. I even like Colton Cowser. They traded away Charlie Morton. He's having a nice little revival with the Tigers. We could talk about him later. I think a lot of the trade-offs that they did weren't bad for the teams that received. If you received parts from the 2025 Baltimore Orioles at the midseason mark, you're probably all right with them. O'Hearn and Laureano, I think, are turning in relatively well for the Padres, and obviously, like I just said, Charlie Morton's done well with the Tigers. They just stink. The Orioles stink, and I'm not sure when it's going to get better. Sorry, Orioles fans, back to the basement you are. The Marlins are just mid, and I think that's okay for them. This was a team that, in my opinion, when I started or when I was looking at teams preseason and guessing records and stuff like that, I had them buried maybe at the bottom of the division. I might have predicted them at the bottom of the division before or below the Washington Nationals, who've been somehow even worse. The Marlins are a team that really leaned into a youth movement, and it's really paid off well for them. Agustin Ramirez has been really pretty good for them, to be honest. Kyle Stowers has been one of the best hitters in the NL this year, silently. They have just so many guys. Jacob Marcia has come up and played really, really well for them. I'm happy with how he's looked. You know, there's plenty of guys on their team. Javier Sanoa, sure, dude. Xavier Edwards is just a consistent in the lineup. He's a really good defender at second base, too, like one of the best. The Marlins just have a young team, and they're making it work. They didn't do anything at the deadline because they didn't really need to. Yuri Perez, Edward Cabrera, those guys are turning in really good starts. Hopefully, Sandy can turn it around. I don't think this team's going to make the playoffs, but this was a step in the right direction for the Marlins this season, in my opinion, just because you saw the young guys come up and actually make an impact. I just think this season as a whole is a net win for the Marlins, even though they're probably going to finish under 500. The Red Sox I have in wild card just for funsies, just here for funsies. Their pitching is god-awful, and I don't think you can win a World Series with that, but their offense can outpace some of the best. That's really what the Red Sox calling card has been this year and in years past, but this season specifically, they've leaned into it because their pitching just isn't great. Walker Buehler is not ideal. Dustin May, he's only taken the ball like twice with them so far, so I'm not going to fully judge it. They have just a bunch of youth as well. Another team that's really leaned into a youth movement, and it's worked out pretty well for them. You know, Roman Anthony, even though all he is a singles hitter right now, it is what it is. He also had the worst throw I've ever seen against the Padres from left field to try and save the game, but it's a different story. They also extended Roman Anthony, which I think is a really good move. Well, do I think it's a really good move? In my mind, I do, but then there's also the effect of you just gave him a Michael Harris deal where he's, you know what I mean, if regression happens, now you're paying a guy to be bad. It's a risky move, but if you can void the years of arbitration and stuff like that, you know, it really makes it worth it. I like what the Red Sox have done in terms of this youth and getting the younger guys in there, but I just don't think they have the pitching to really be taken fully seriously as a real team that can win the World Series. Their bullpen's been great, though. I have to have that add that caveat. Their bullpen's been pretty damn good, at least since All-Star break, too. So, you know, if their starters can give them length and maybe a couple of quality outings, maybe you get something in the playoffs. But as for right now, it's just they're not good. The starters are not good. Padres are going to go in wild card that can win it all. I don't think they're going to win the division from the Dodgers. They could. In theory, they could. But I still don't know if they will. Their pitching is also equally pretty mid to the Red Sox. I just talked about mid pitching, mid starters, great bullpen. Yeah, that's the Padres again. You never know when Yu Darvish is going to click again, if he's going to click again, because he is really, really old. But in that same breath, Yu Darvish has been electric for about 10 years in MLB now. Well over 10 years, I think, now. They brought in J.P. Sears just to send him down after he got rocked. You know, overall, the Padres are just a team with not enough starting pitching. I like Nick Pivetta, but I don't know if I trust him in a playoff setting, especially because this is his first year being like really good. Of years past with the Red Sox, he was not really good. They do have a real chance to win it. I mean, it obviously relies on like Fernando Tatis snapping back into it. I don't know what's going on with him. A lot of Padres fans are saying like he's in his own head at this point in the season, which you never want to hear going into a playoff race, that your best player, well, one of your best players, is in his own head. But their acquisitions at the deadline definitely help. You see that 80 grade changeup Mason Miller drop last night. Straight up beautiful. I like Laureano. I like O'Hearn. They've done great things. I think they can win it all if they get hot, but that's another team where I worry about their starting pitching because it's just not there right now. Like Michael King just came back, so that'll definitely boost their rotation a little bit once he's back into the rhythm of things. I know his outing number 1 wasn't great, but I still think he's a really good pitcher. But you're hoping Darvish can snap back into it and you can get some more quality outings out of your starters. Because if you can't, you're going to overtax that bullpen. And I know there's depth on depth in that bullpen now, but a lot of them are just 1-inning guys. Jason Adams, not a 2-inning guy. Mason Miller, probably not a 2-inning guy. They might transition him back to a starter. So they've talked about. I don't know about that one. But overall, the Padres are just a fun-ass team to watch. That's just what they are. They're a fun team to watch right now that I think can win it all if it really came down to it because they have hitters. This is a team that's still going to go in wild card that can win it all. It's the Cubs. They've slipped recently, obviously, with the Brewers taking absolute flight. We'll get to them soon enough. The Cubs have definitely had their struggles recently. They've been 500 for like the last 2 weeks, it feels like. Justin Tucker, oh dear Jesus, don't go there. Kyle Tucker has been in and out recently, not as good. Their pitching's been great though. Matt Boyd is a freaking dog somehow. I don't know where that came from. Matt Boyd's just suddenly really good. Overall, I really like how the Cubs are built. They do have hitters. It's just they haven't gotten it consistently right recently. They've been struggling on offense, I believe. Yeah, I was thinking about it, and I was like, the Cubs really have been pretty bad offensively recently. Look at their losses. They put up 3 runs. They put up 2 runs. They put up 1 run. They put up 0, and then they put up 2. In their losses, they're hanging 0s, 1s, and 2s. In their wins, they're putting up 9, 6, and, crooked numbers. It's been the offense. That's really been what's held them back. I just wanted some confirmation bias to tell me that I was right. And, yeah, it's been the Cubs' offense. Their pitching isn't in a great spot because they've lost starters, Steele. I think Imanaga's been in and out too. But overall, I still do think that the Cubs are a real threat. Just the other team in their division has just become gods somehow. The White Sox can fuck around and probably land in the 500 territory if they really hustle down the stretch because they got some real players. I like Edgar Caro. I really like Colson Montgomery is the star of that team. I know like Lou Bob's played pretty damn good since the deadline, before deadline a little bit. Benintendi's been all right too. Like their team is low-key fun right now. Colson Montgomery has just real power, man. He's bopping the ball. What's he got? 7 since since All-Star break? 6 or nope. 6 or the number after. I'm not saying that. Since All-Star break for home runs. Like, he's been on a tear. I like watching the White Sox now. It's hard, though, to balance it because, bro, I hate Jerry Reinsdorf. I hate him. He ruins everything good for Chicago sports, except for the Cubs. They do their own ruining. But Jerry Reinsdorf is horrific at his job. So it's hard to root for them when the team is terrible. You know what I mean? It's kind of a real catch-22 type of thing. They've been better recently. They're probably not going to end at 500, but I do really like their team. Colson Montgomery's really good. Edgar Caro is really good as well. I keep wanting to call him Jefferson. That's the 2 different people. Their pitching hasn't even been that terrible, per se. I'm proud of what this second half has looked like for them. That's a reason why I'm putting them that high, because they are garbage. I could throw them in the dumpster fire right now, and nobody would question me. But they've been really good since the All-Star break, so I kind of want to give them a little pat on the shoulder and say, hey, White Sox, you don't put together very many good things or reasons to be excited for White Sox baseball. Congratulations, you've finally done it. You made me want to watch. Top team out of the wild card is the Reds right now, I believe. They've been really, really good. Pitching staff is on point. Hitting is in and out. Their defense got shored up with the Ke'Bryan Hayes move. I know Reds fans aren't too high on Ke'Bryan Hayes because he's been the worst hitter in baseball. That's just a fact. He's been the worst hitter in baseball for what feels like 3 years now. Not 2023, he was really good. Not really good, he was just pretty good. Ke'Bryan Hayes just hasn't put it together at the plate in a majority of his MLB career. But he's been really good defensively still. I don't know. The Reds are a fun team to watch. They always seem to mess it up somehow. But with this rotation they got, man, I just like the rotation they got. Hunter Green is filthy. Nick Lodolo is filthy. Nick Martinez is nasty. He's also drinking beers after, throwing 7 shutty. Like, he's a demon. I love that. Their pitching staff just has been so good this year. And I'm happy for the Reds, man. They play at a bandbox. And somehow their pitching's been fantastic this year. I'm happy for the Reds. They've really put together a quality season. I doubted them before the season, and not that they proved me wrong. They're like 5 games over, but that's pretty damn good for the Reds when the expectation from general public expectation for the Reds was either up here or down here. It felt like a team with no middle ground, and they've somehow found middle ground. Good for them. Put the D-backs, and you should be ashamed of yourself. The team overall, this is more so on before the season. I was really excited for this team, and they just never really showed up. Not really never showed up. They never really got the chance. Corbin Burns gets hurt, and that's your ace already dead. I mean, I don't know what more to say. That's once he goes down, it's like, oh, shit, here we go, right? But I don't know. I kind of wanted to see them be more competitive, and even when they were healthy, they were competitive. They were in every game, it felt like, but they still weren't winning games. Enough to the point that made them sellers at the deadline. That's kind of why I'm disappointed, is the fact that they had to go into seller mode rather than buyer mode. I understand it made sense. You didn't want to have to extend Eugenio and Naylor, everything like that. Those things make sense. It makes sense why they are a seller. The reason why they are so low is because before the season, I didn't want or expect them to be sellers. I expected them to actually be better than the Padres before the season, and they just haven't been. Here we go. You employ Warming Bernabel. That's my fucking GOAT, bro. Nobody can tell me different. Warming Bernabel is better than Barry Bonds. Better than Ted Williams. I don't know if I can name a player Warming Bernabel isn't better than. He's just that guy. There's just no more you can say about him. It's Warming Bernabel. What can you say? What do you say about an all-time great like him? The Tigers lead the division, and Skubal didn't look great in the last outing I watched against the Angels for him, but it's Tarek Skubal. That means he's probably going to go 8 shut next time he's out there. I feel bad for the next team he faces. No, the Tigers have been a mixed bag, and it's simply, in my opinion, it's partially because Javi Baez is coming back down to earth. It's depressing as fuck to watch, but he's back to flailing at sliders. He's back to being a 4-pitch K. I love Javi. And some of their lineup has looked relatively good. Riley Green, defensively in left field, has looked wild. He's so damn big. He looks like a buffalo playing left field, but he makes it work. Their pitching is just really hurt. Reese Olson's down, so that's another body down. I think they got like 3 starters done for the year already. Like, they're in a very weird spot, but recently they've gotten good contributions out of Chuck Morton, who was this call-in at the deadline. They trade for him. That was a really good move. Getting a guy like Charlie Morton at a more pitcher-friendly park in Comerica, felt like that was a really smart move at the deadline. Their offense has been all right. I think I'll give them that. Torque is my guy. He's been playing really, really well. I like Spencer Torkelson a lot. Riley Green's really good. It's just, I don't know. I know I'm putting a lot of the blame on Javi. It's pitcher injuries for the most part, and their back-end bullpen hasn't been ideal either. Been kind of a mismatch of parts. But, man, it would be nice to see Javi put together a really good front and back, and it just doesn't look like that's going to happen. He's been cooling off, and like I said, he's back to flailing at sweepers and sliders. It's sad. I told people they aren't dead until they're dead before the season, and I feel like I was called crazy for saying that. I've been saying since the beginning of the season, bro, the Houston Astros are not dead until they're 50 games under with 5 left to play. They aren't dead until they're dead. And the bell was never rung, and that means they're going to keep going. I hate the Astros, man. They just play good ball. I don't know. They got like 3 good pitchers, starting pitchers specifically, Hunter Brown, Framber Valdez, and apparently, who was the guy that threw 5 yesterday? I can't remember. It was like his 4th MLB start. It's not a great rotation. I don't know if they're going to win the World Series, but they do lead the division right now. They've been playing all right baseball. I don't know if I'd put them in the top 5 teams. If this was specifically a power rankings, I don't know if I'd put them in the top 5. They'd be close to it. But overall, they lead their division. They've been playing pretty damn good baseball off like the power of friendship and love, you know, because like I said, their pitching staff outside of the top 2 is pretty damn hittable, and then their bullpen is pretty damn good. But their hitting is pretty good as well. If they had Isak, I'd root for them harder, but because that's my guy. But they don't have Isak anymore, so I don't care. The Dodgers are a weird team as well, where they lead the division. Everyone's mid this year. I don't know if you guys have realized that, but everyone's mid except for the one team that's up next after the Dodgers. They aren't mid somehow. But every team just feels like they are hovering, just kind of staying above water, you know. And the Dodgers are one of those teams too, where their rotation's getting healthier. Glasnow's back and Snell's back. Snell is back to being Blake Snell, where he's throwing 5 earned, or he's throwing a 5 innings, 0 earned, but 6 walks, and you're like, what the hell kind of outing is that? He makes it work. They're getting healthier, which means I think they have a good chance of doing something, but if they want to win a World Series, Mookie Betts, you're going to have to be a real player, big guy, because Jesus, this has been a down year for him. Down year isn't even, I don't know what this is considered. If this is a down year, this is, for Mookie Betts like standards, this is a career death season. I'm not saying he can't come back, he can, but geez, man, it's been a hard watch seeing Mookie Betts at bats this year. This is just the best team in baseball. That's why they're going up front. Honestly, this might be the top 3 right here. If I were to do a power rankings, it'd be close to it. The Brewers, Christian Yelich is going to be on the thumbnail of this video because I need a Brewer because the Brewers have been so damn good. But it's not Christian Yelich's team anymore, really. There's so many good players on this team that are just not underrated anymore because of how good they've been. But like Bryce Terang has been electric. You know, William Contreras recently has come back to life too. He started off relatively cold this year. He's slowly turning it around. Sal Frelick is, you know, having a great year. You know, there's so many guys. Jackson Churrio's hurt, and it hasn't really stopped them. I'm pretty sure they swept the Mets without Jackson Churrio. You know what I mean? Like, This Brewers team just doesn't die. They play solid, and Pocket Pancake Pat Murphy is at the helm, just pulling all the strings. He's really good. The back end of their bullpen's been pretty good too. Shout out to Trevor McGill. He's been money this year. The back end of their bullpen's so good, dude. Abner Uribe is back there. Nick Mears is back there, who's filthy. Aaron Ashby. Like, it's amazing how they just put together pitching staff after pitching staff every year of just good players. And this year, they've found enough hitting. You know, Terang's taking a step up in hitting. Yelich is there still hitting all right. William Contreras has picked it up. You know, Rhys Hoskins is hitting well. It's just, it's good vibes baseball is what they're playing right now. Shout out to the Brewers. Like I said, it's just good vibes baseball coming from them. Can I be serious with you guys? I haven't watched Twins baseball since the deadline. I know Luke Keeschel has been pretty good. He's had a couple of I think he's had a walk-off home run, or was that? I think he had a walk-off yesterday. He had his first home run like a week ago. Either way, he's like a top 50 prospect in baseball. So I mean, I guess there is something to watch for Twins fans, you know. But for somebody like me, a more casual watcher of the Twins, when they sell everyone at the deadline, and it's like I don't know. What am I watching for? Am I really just watching for Luke Keeschel? You know, I don't know. I just don't really watch the Twins as much as I once did, like when they were good earlier this year. I don't know. That's all I can really say, though. I'm going to put the A's in its mid. Their offense can't outpace their ass pitching staff. Sevy is just not great. Their whole pitching staff, I can't even just put it on Sev because their pitching staff has just been horrific. And it's impacting their whole team. You can see that. It's hard to outpace a pitching staff that's bad. You can have the best offense ever, but if your pitching staff is the worst pitching staff ever, you're probably not going to win many games. They have the Rookie of the Year candidates, like both of them in the AL. Jacob Wilson, before he went down, was the leader, and now Nick Kurtz is just God. I don't know. He's got a refrigerator build. You know what I mean? He's just built like a refrigerator. I'm not talking about William Perry. Rest in peace, William Perry. But Jesus, man. Nick Kurtz is just built like a fridge. He's a thick upper body guy, wails the baseball, smooth lefty swing. I like Nick Kurtz a lot. You have to slow it down. I don't want to say slurs on this channel. All right, Filthies. They're leading the division. If anything, I'm probably putting them up here. So, you know what? I am going to do it by that way. I'm going to do it like that. I think that feels fair. Do I think the Phillies could win a world? The Phillies can win the World Series very easily this year. It is so up in the air. I'm so bought in on the Phillies having the best rotation in baseball. I've been saying it all year, but I think they really do just have the best rotation in baseball. Names on paper doesn't necessarily mean anything, but they have names on paper that produce. Zach Wheeler is a fucking dog, man. He just is. You see Zach Wheeler dominating, but then they got Ranger Suarez, Chris Sanchez. Jesus Luzardo's tipping every game. It feels like he's had a tipping issue all year. He's been back to mid, to be honest with you, but their back on bullpen's getting better with Duran. In terms of name values, they have the best pitching staff in baseball, in my opinion, in terms of name value. I really like what the Phillies have put together this year. Their deadline moves I was more critical of. Not critical. I was pessimistic of because I was definitely more like, I don't know. I like the Duran move, but I wasn't sure about Bader. I wasn't bought in on Bader, but Bader in Philadelphia, the more I see it, it just makes sense. He seems like a Philadelphia type of guy. I enjoy watching the Phillies. I just went from talking about the Twins, a team I don't enjoy watching at all, to the Phillies, a team I actively like watching. Pittsburgh's been playing better baseball now, but damn it, I can't watch it. They've been better. Like I said, it's been better baseball. Better Business Bureau. Yeah, all the B's out there. I really like what they've got in terms of some of the players that they're playing, but overall, it's another team where it's hard to watch at times. Their pitching staff's also not bad. I talked about the Phillies having the best pitching staff on paper. Obviously, the Pirates are not in the top 5, maybe not even top 10 of that conversation, but they've got some guys that can throw. Keller can throw. Obviously, Paul, he's a dog, but they've got some decent guys, and I don't know, man. The Pirates are a weird watch, but they've got players. Jack Sawinski's back at the major league level. Thumbs up. I'm happy about that. Dear Jesus. So Mets and Yankees fans have spent all season, I'm going to put them up there still, even though I'm not optimistic. Their hitting's been ass, and when their hitting's good, their bullpen's ass. They constantly have a light flicker going where it's like, hey, if one factor of your team's working really well, that means the other light has to go out. Like, suddenly your starters are elite, now you can't hit. Bullpen's terrible, but now you can score 9 runs a game. Nothing works in harmony for the Mets this year. Specifically hitting, man. The hitting has been terrible. Their fans are mad at Eric Chavez. Hilarious. I don't know, man. We as in Mets and Yankees fans, I'm a Yankees fan, have spent all year yelling at each other, and there's a real chance that neither of us makes the playoffs. Real sad shit, man. The Mets rotation's also dead. Like half the rotation. Where's DP? Where's Griffin Canning when you need him? They're not getting great starts out of Frankie Montas. How is he still on the roster? Frankie Meatballs is throwing fastballs down the dick. Frankie Montas is terrible. I'm glad that both the Mets and the Yankees got their negative experience with Frankie Montas in. But like I said, even when they do get a lead yesterday, Sunday, I'm recording this on Monday. Sunday, they get a lead going into they were leading in the 6th. It felt like they were up like 5-0 at one point. And then it melts. And they lose 7-6-5, 7-5, something like that. What the fuck? Where did it go? The Mets are a perplexing team where nothing works at once. The Yankees, dude, they're getting put in its mid. I don't really care. Maybe I'm just being more harsh on them because they're my favorite team and I watch them the most. But by God, do I not want to watch them anymore. Every game, I'm requiring a fucking Xanax and a Pepto-Bismol. I hate watching them. I can't do it, man. It's hard. Ayo. But also, like, I'm to the point in this season where I'm rooting for individual players more than the team. I'm at the point where, for 2 months now, they've been straight mid. That's what they've been, is just straight mid. And nothing's changing. One series win isn't changing that. I thought the Rays series would change that. No. News fucking flash, it didn't. They went on to lose the Rangers series, the Astros series, the Marlins series. Oh my dear Jesus. The Marlins series almost sent me straight to the next world. Dude, I'm going to tell you right now, the Yankees aren't going to be the only thing hanging on by a thread if this shit gets even worse. I can't stand watching them anymore. I know I'm having a meltdown about my Yankees, but dear Lord Jesus, do they hurt to watch. Yesterday against Houston, you mustered 1 run against a rookie pitcher. He threw 5 solid, I think, and didn't allow shit. I'm just blown away at how terrible this team is. I don't know. I can't do it. And I don't think it's getting any better. Just give Cody Bellinger a bag, give Trent Grisham a bag, and who else should get a bag this offseason? Any other free agents I can think of that should get a bag this offseason? He shouldn't get a bag, but Paul Goldschmidt should definitely get a boot. No, I'm just kidding. He hasn't been that bad against lefties. Their pitching's dead too. Garrett Cole's down. Clark Schmidt's down. It's been so terrible this year. And I can't watch it anymore. I might just stop watching because it's really over. The definition of mid, the Giants, they stay mid. I mean, Jesus Christ. If they could get, there's maybe no team more mid than the Giants are. They are hard to watch as well. Their pitching is just, it's all mid. It's all mid, dude. The starting pitching is mid. The bullpen is stupid mid. The hitting isn't there. It's just not there. They shouldn't have traded Yastrzemski, bro. They should have kept, I was going to say Carl Yastrzemski. Yeah, dog. The Giants in 2025 should have kept Carl Yastrzemski. They should have kept Mike Yastrzemski. They didn't. They traded him at the deadline to the Royals. That looks like a pretty good move for the Royals, I can't lie. The Giants have been playing painful baseball this year. They can't get any more mid. What's their record in the last 10? Holy shit, it's 5-5. Unbelievable, bro. They're so mid. It's so funny. Shout out to the Giants, but Jesus, man, there's nothing more mid than them. Mariners are in a wild card position that can win it all. They've been playing really fun baseball. This is another team. Cal Raleigh hit another home run last night. He's gonna crack 50. He's gonna hit 50 bombs as a catcher. And I'm gonna laugh the whole time because that's incredible. He just broke the single season catcher home run record. He's just the best catcher in ball this year, and it's not even close. Shout out to William Contreras though; he's trying his ass off. I like Cal Raleigh a lot, and overall their offense has been relatively good. Julio's been a second half player. I don't know what to say about Julio Rodriguez anymore because it's shown the last few years that that's just who he is. He's a Mr. Second Half. Doesn't show up in the first half, but he plays better after All-Star. I really don't know, and it's kind of weird, but also it's not good. I shouldn't be happy for him because he's heating up now because he's been asked the rest of the season. The team needed you just as much in June as they need you now in August. You know what I mean? Pitching staff is back to being all right. Their back-end bullpen is moderately trustworthy. They've been playing better baseball recently. Shout out to Randy Arozarena, man. That's a guy who looked not great last year in his half season with the Mariners. This season, he's put together a pretty damn respectable season. Overall, it's just a fun team to watch. I wish they were a little bit, I don't know how to describe it. I wish they were a little bit more consistent up with their pitching. But overall, it's been a fun enough team to watch. They're the top wild card seed for a reason. They're going to make noise in the playoffs if Dumper shows up, and I think he will. That guy's a big-time player. I'm going to put the Angels in you should be ashamed. They're mid, but like worse than mid. Their deadline was confusing, and they didn't do anything, and they haven't really been better since then. They've played all right. I mean, a couple of wins against the Tigers. I think only one, maybe. I don't remember that series too well. Overall, it's the Angels. It just feels like, again, I say this, what feels like every year about the Angels, it feels like a collection of good players, but not a team. I don't know how else to describe it. It's really weird. Their pitching is some good, some bad. Like, Yusei Kikuchi isn't bad, isn't terrible, but also you're starting Hendricks still. What is he, 60? Let him go home, man. This is like if you were still trying to throw out, I don't know. I'm trying to think of an old-ass pitcher. I can't right now. I don't know if there's any. It's like the Giants with Verlander. You got to stop putting him out there, man. I'm just confused where the Angels are going, but I think even Angels fans are confused as to where the Angels are going every season. So, I don't know. You just kind of got to rock with it. But they are disappointing as hell. I thought they could have been better. I thought they even could have given the division a run. But no. They've also just been having a weird season. Like Ron Washington just steps away. That's your newest manager, Hyrie, who's just like, yeah, I can't do it no more. What? Why'd you hire him? Why'd you agree to the job? I don't know. It is what it is. The Angels are in just such a tough spot, and it's kind of a gross team, I guess. It's kind of how I'm going to describe it. It's not really youthful. There is some youth, like Ohapi, Neto. Guys like that are fun. Sean Well. But the vets are there, and the Joe Adell's having a pretty weird year as well. He strikes out a ton, he's allergic to walking. I don't know, I'm spending way too much time on the below average ass Angel. Holy shit, it's mid again. The St. Louis Cardinals are so mid still. They have enough players to remain mid and 500 for the rest of the year, in my opinion. They didn't sell anyone really. They kept the roster identical, which, whatever, dude. They have some guys in the young pipeline, you know, Weatherholt, but where's he going to play with Mason Winnup? I don't know. They'll have to figure that one out. But overall, the Cardinals have been an interesting watch this season. Early season, they were so fun because everyone in their lineup was an 8-pitch at-bat. They kind of felt like the Blue Jays early in the season, but they tapered off while the Blue Jays picked it up. You know what I mean? I know they're not same division, but same feel, though, because I did 5 players I thought were going to break out this season, and I had Ivan Herrera on my list, and he's been fantastic this year. I can't wait to go back and look at that video again because it's some hits and some misses, but Ivan Herrera was a hit 100%. Happy for him. Maybe Jordan Walker's finding something. He's starting to... He hit a home run the other day. He's hitting singles. I don't know, man. I like Jordan Walker a lot. I stopped believing in him, really, but maybe there's still something there. I have no idea. This team had a chance to take the real reins of a wild card spot and still hasn't. The Yankees have been terrible for 2 months now, and the Rangers still haven't been able to get into the wild card picture. Why? I don't know, man. They're another painful team to watch because, well, they hit some days and they don't others. But since All-Star break, their hitting's been better. They're just not putting together complete games. Robert Garcia, I think, blew a save or 2 in there as well. He's been less than money this year. The Rangers in general are just, they're mid. They're mid. You know how much mid is in here? There's so much mid in the MLB this year, man, and the Rangers are a part of that, where they're just not, they could, like I said, man, the Yankees have been terrible, and the Rangers still can't catch them because they're 3-7 in their last 10. What? Dude, come on now. The City Royals are also mid. They just are. You could put them below mid. You could put them in a shame to yourself, but I thought they were going to be terrible before the year, so I guess mid's better than terrible. I said it earlier, but I really like the Yastrzemski edition. They've looked better since the deadline, I guess, but Lugo got rocked the other day. I don't know, man. The Royals play Royals baseball, but overall, I haven't been as tapped in. I know Michael was having a good year last I checked, but like they traded Freddie Fermin, they traded for Mike Yastrzemski and Randall Grichuk. I know Yastrzemski's worked out. I haven't checked Grichuk. Overall, this season's just been so mid for the Royals again. You know, I mean, what a weird 2 seasons it's been for the Royals. They lose 100 games. The next year they make the playoffs. This season they're 500. So they've literally been at every level. Playoff team, worst team in baseball, 500. They have been at every single spot in the MLB tiers. Nice, Royals. Good job. And finally, we have the last, you should be ashamed of yourself. I thought they were going to be better too, man. James Woods looked rough since coming back from All-Star break. He just hit his first home run since, like, I think it was June or maybe early July. I think it was July 3rd or 5th or some shit. It's been a while since James Woods really got hot. Maybe this is the second half where he starts to get hot again. But, man, have they been unwatchable, I guess is the word. Their pitching staff, Mackenzie Gore turned in a good start yesterday, but over his last 10 starts, he's been sub-league average, sub-replacement level. What a weird team, man. Like I said, James Wood has been pretty bad this second half. Mackenzie Gore has been pretty bad this second half. I haven't checked Abrams. But overall, the team has just, that was like the 3 players that I was watching when I was watching Nationals games. Now there's no point, man. They're below mid. They aren't good. I don't know. Is there more words to describe a team that is mid other than they're below mid? They're just not good. Overall, the Nationals just aren't very good. They don't have pitching depth. I like Jake Irvin, but that 4.5 ERA every year isn't doing the job for me anymore. And the guys that I really do like watching in Wood, Abrams, and Gore have just kind of tailed off recently. I don't know, man. The Nationals are a disappointing team that I opt not to watch anymore. Most of the teams, and you should be ashamed of yourself, I do not watch. But I do watch the Rockies. Don't know why I watch the Rockies, I just do. Make myself a little bit bigger for the outro. Hold on, let's go. If you enjoyed this video, then you should like it and you should subscribe because, bro, I'm not asking for the world out of you. It's not that hard, gang. I'm going to go catch a game. See you guys in the next one. Thanks for joining.